who's the Soccerbeat? Proudly brought to you by Engen, giving you an update of the Engen Knockout Challenge. The man who did it as a youth himself was a big name. Everybody was talking about him at this stage at this level of development of football. Mark was one of those guys. The whole city was buzzing and wondering which team he's gonna go to. Doing his thing at Old Mutual Academy at that time. Now he's a national assistant coach for the youth teams, Amachimbos, with the legend David Nyat. We thought maybe this could be the guy, who has his finger on the pulse and knows who's who out there, and could give us better insights on how we should be looking at youth players. Maki, it's an important stage, this tournament. We get to see, as the people of Mzansi, we get to see them all in one place playing against each other. Nina Babona in the different leagues throughout, but Tina Smola, as they're competing. The importance of this tournament.
Oh, for sure. I think Engen is, I think maybe at the moment, the only national tournament. I'm saying national because it's played in different provinces, and then you'll have your Champ of Champs, which are your winners of each province, which normally have 9 teams. And it's a very important tournament for youth football in South Africa for many reasons. To give, of course, players between 15 and 18 a chance to play in a more competitive stage against the best academies in their region, and they stand a chance to go and play in a more national tournament in Johannesburg as well. And it's a tournament that has bred a lot of great players. Teboho Mokoena comes from the tournament. George Maluleka, myself, many other players, they come from this tournament. But also not only players, but coaches as well. And fortunately for myself, I played it, and I also won it as a coach with Cape Town City as well. But Arthur Zwane has coached this tournament. Surprise Muriri has coached these tournaments. Amongst many other coaches that have, it doesn't only look at the players as well, or give an opportunity to the players alone, but also to coaches as well. And we have seen also with the one that is there in Cape Town that the coach of the tournament is a guy from EPA Academy. It's a small academy, it's a new academy as well, and shows Uguti development also of coaches is getting better and better as well. So it also gives these opportunities for coaches and for players as well, women and boys, or girls and boys. So for me, it's a very big part of youth development.
You all cross paths, legend of the game. And you see the crop of the crop, the cream of the crop, as I said, Maki. Hey, in that journey, maybe when you won it, what are some of the unique stories where you like, you stood there and you're like, hey, this is happening. Some of the unique stories, anything that you can share that jumps to mind about the Engen Knockout.
No, of course, especially it brings back the journey as a young footballer as well. Seeing how these young boys were happy and they were celebrating. It was the first of the club to win the Engen, and looking at the faces of these young boys and looking at how they are so inspired, and also even leading to the tournament and how determined they were. It brings back those memories also as a young player from a Kailicha, going to Mitchell's playing to Westridge to go and play this tournament. And it brings all the memories of the players that I've played with as well, that I've shared the field with, which are many of them were better than me as a footballer as well. But unfortunate that they never made it as professional players. But it brings back those memories as well. And, it was a very beautiful moment for me, looking at the whole picture, as you mentioned, and seeing them happy. And, it brought all those memories as well. And it shows the importance of these tournaments in terms of also society development, and society cohesion as well, because you see teams from different regions and different races and different cultures and coming together, and people from different races, different cultures. You also see how in other communities as well, how they support football as well, and they come as families and gazebo. you will see bright stands, it brings that cohesion amongst humanity as well, and it plays a bigger role in humanity as well.
Uh, and Mark was, the player of the tournaments and the awards, striker of the tournament, the players that everybody starts noticing, and because you're a few years away from senior football at this stage. I see some names, Nizam Flu, who made it down here in the Western Cape. Toslang, lots of the Chiefs players also went through this. Uh, what is the key element here for anyone, especially the ones who are going to win now those awards, who are in the vying for those awards, when they win that award, the responsibility that's on them after they win those awards.
I think before I get into the awards as well, and if you look at the under 20s, even the under 17s, I'm sure maybe 80% of each team, 80% of those players have played the Engen tournament. Abongwali has played the Engen tournament. The boy from Stellies, who forgot his name, he played the centre back with the hair. He played the Engen tournament. We played against them, PS Abashaya 4-0. So, also, a national team maybe standpoint, it also gives opportunities for scouts to see these players. Also, at Cape Town City, we had Kosamanyana that played AFCON, Ukebi Amato that played AFCON in Algeria, with the
Yeah.
coach Duncan Crowley, Recently now we had Emil playing, we had Usive Palmer, he was also part of the AFCON. We had now recently we had Joshua Taylor, we had Abulele Legela that played this. So it from a national team footprint as well, it gives this opportunity for players to get into the national setup. And of course for the individual awards, it's always, we have to look at it in a more open-minded and not make this player of the tournament as the only reason that you are selecting a player or you are signing a player, you know what I mean? Because some players, maybe it was his day and then he had a good tournament or whatever the case is, but many of the players that have received these awards, like Abo Kaka Sifumba, and many other players, Abo Sivu Nkwali from Cape Town Spurs, they went on to hit PSL. They went on to make debuts in the PSL as well. So in many moments, there's a lot of good things that comes from these play of the tournaments, and in terms of getting a promotion to their teams, or maybe from under 18 to DDC, or from DDC to their PSL team or to an NFD team as well. So many of the players that have received these individual awards have lived up to expectation, I believe. I think recently now we had the midfield of the tournament and player of the tournament, Joshua Taylor. We had also Abulele Jagela and as a defender of the tournament, and both of them have played in the AFCON as well. And also you can see how they play with the confidence and the arrogance and on this bravery as well. It shows Zuguti. It also creates. It takes the players' level from here to the next level as well. You know what I mean? So it's that's why I mentioned Zuguti. It's a very important tournament for youth development.
You've taken a Cape Town City to that national title, to the national tournament. You've taken a relatively underdog, in the national sense, according to fans, of course, in the PSL. So did you pick up this energy, within the youth players already, where I'm a Chiefs player, you're a Pirates player, you're a Cape Town City player? Iko Orlando already at that level.
Of course, it's always there with these boys as well, because also they know each other. It's either from national team or it's either they have crossed path before. It doesn't matter where, or they were teammates before, So there's always that little bit of tension, but it's always competitive in terms of the football as well, and you see sometimes. I remember when we went to the national playoffs, we had Chiefs in our group, so we played the last game. And you could see Joguti fighting. Whites are fighting. Me and Sidiso and David Matebula. The fight within the benches and the fight inside the field. And then we played the game. It was a draw, 1-1. And then everyone could see the tension, and it started to build up. And everyone knew these are the two teams that are going to play the final vele. And we played the final, and the final was also intense. Good final. They had Abu Duba that were there in that team. I remember, I think he scored 1 or 2 in that game. They had Abu Puso, that went on. They had players that went on to play PSL, and also we had players that went Abu Kebi Amato, Abu Kosa Manyana, Ukaka Sifumba was there. He became the player of the tournament.
Yes,
So we
yes.
had also players that went on to go to the PSL, but the competitiveness was very nice, not only inside the field but outside the field as well as coaches. And we only spoke after the final, and we started to say, but it's good because it's a good competitive space, but it's healthy, it's not toxic.
If fans, how should they be watching the tournament? Mark, how should they be following? Because of course we're expecting Tina from our end. We're expecting these guys to move on to this next step, as you said. So if fans, what must they look out for the type of players that they're gonna see in the tournament over the coming weeks?
Of course, there's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of good football that is being played by, especially in youth football, in youth systems. I know Sundowns play good football, Chiefs play good football. They have good coaches. We play football, and we try to play the best way possible as well. And it's always like that. It's always competitive like that. And also, you don't want to put pressure on the young boys, and now they start to make mistakes, and then they cannot express themselves. What is important is to support them, and to support their potential, even as parents, because I know sometimes parents, they put pressure on the boys. We would say, hey, Sundowns will be there, Chiefs will be there, so we have to play well and this and that. And then now a player doesn't play well, doesn't live up to his potential because he's never so we must just let the players play football and let them enjoy the moment. Let them experience the feeling of playing this tournament, and let them live the moment. Let us not worry about the next thing, which is winning, or the next thing, which is going to another team or going to the national team. But they have to live the moment and enjoy the moment and just play football, enjoy the experience of playing against these teams, Cape Town City, Sundowns, and whoever that will be playing in the tournament as well. And this will also help them to relax and to enjoy the moment as well. So this is what I would say to the parents and to the supporters as well. Let the players play.
I love that, Mark. Now to the players now. You're now a national selector. You are now a national selector. What are you looking for? What should they be doing? Um, Not to only catch your eye, but yeah, to impress you too. What are you in the national as a national selector going out there to look for?
For sure, Gucci, sometimes there are players that maybe won't be having a good day, or a good game, or a good tournament, But there are things that you see in someone that are positive, even if technically in the game is not really playing well. Body language. What does he do when he loses the ball? What does he do when his teammates lose the ball? What is his reaction to bad moments? What is his reaction to good moments? Does he throw hands when his teammate has the ball? Does he show a bad body language when things are not going well? Does he? So these are some of the things that I personally look for, in a player, from a character point of view, because playing at the high level, talent becomes lower than character, and then character becomes a more important maybe element that helps players, because character helps you to sustain the elite level as well. So these are some of the traits or attributes that I always look up for. The more psychological elements. To see how he reacts when things are not going well. When the team is losing 1-0, 2-0, does he put his head down and walk and not press and not help? What does he do if he's a striker? Can he help the team to defend? Can he help the team to press? Can he track back? Can he score goals? Obviously you want to see him score goals. You want to see him doing this and 1v1 moments and all of that. But, there are other more important things, because you can teach certain things in football. You can teach to pass,
True.
and to fall, and to score, and to shoot. You can teach these things, but from a character, I don't know if you can teach. Maybe you can help to groom a player, but for me, this is the most important part of being a footballer, especially a young footballer.
I actually, Coach Mark is not looking for brackets. He's not looking for a player that has the look. He's looking for a player that loses the ball and presses and helps out. Eh, not only getting involved only when take it from Coach Mark, boys and girls. As you go out there to impress, play your best. Some of you are playing this tournament for the last year, of course, because of the age restrictions. But some of you will get another opportunity uh, to play again. So always also keep that in mind. Every time you step out there, take it from Coach Mark here, who's walked that walk, played that tournament, coached that tournament, and now on the national selectors side of things as well. So he's given you a whole page and food for thought to take home and think about over this time. Good luck. We will be watching and hopefully we'll be talking about you in some of the next shows that will be dropping very soon. Thanks, Coach Mark.